The sun is shining in Montclair, New Jersey. A perfect night for soccer as we got a little Monday night action in MLS Next Pro here on MLSNextPro.com. David Goss with you as the New York Red Bulls 2 host Orlando City B, just outside of New York City on the campus of Montclair State University. It's MSU Soccer Park. Our site for this one, the second match ever between these two teams in MLS Next Pro. As you take a look at the standings and what it means. They come in tied at 4th and 5th in the Eastern Conference between Orlando and New York Red Bulls 2, who can continue to put some distance between the two teams, bringing up the rear in the playoff race in Philly and Huntsville. Or Columbus Crew already got a win on Friday night, but New England Revolution dropping points against Chicago, so an ability to catch up to that second place spot with a victory here today for either of these teams. For Orlando City B coming in, trying to get their second win of the year against New York Red Bulls 2, but that man AJ Marcucci wasn't in goal last time these two teams faced off. For Orlando, they are coming off back-to-back 3-2 home victories. So now, try to bring that form on the road, trying to close July on a high point. New York Red Bulls 2, they were down a man and got a 2-0 victory in their last match against FC Cincinnati. And they're going to try and do so once again for Ibrahim Sakaya. It is going to be a strong team. A number of first-teamers in this group, including the return of Peter Stroud in midfield, his first MLS Next Pro match since April 17th, alongside Ronald Donkar. In that midfield, Wiki Carmona coming into the team, along with Matthew Nosita, who we saw on the bench across Leagues Cup action over the last week when New York Red Bulls 2 won their group just a few miles away in Harrison, New Jersey. On the flip side, for this Orlando City group under Martin Perelman, a strong group as well. The leading scorer on the team, the second leading scorer in all of MLS Next Pro, Jack Lynn up top. A good, strong team in the midfield with Juninho, the captain, coming off a goal against Chicago in the previous match. A few of these pieces moving around. Almaguer and Talblante, they've started the bulk of the games this season in multiple positions. So we'll see where they end today. As you take a look at the substitute bench, a lot of talent. Shaq Mohammed, Alex Freeman, Fabian Loyola, but not as deep as New York Red Bulls 2. Not the full complement of options here for Martin Perelman, the Argentine manager in his second year in charge of Orlando City B. Austin Siney, our head official for this one, Zeno Cho and Patrick Casey, our assistant referees, and Justin Saporito, our fourth official. Orlando City in the all-white kits going left to right on your screen. New York Red Bulls 2 here at home at MSU Soccer Park for the first time in over 3 weeks in their all-red kits, going right to left on your screen. Both these teams trying to build into a winning streak here to close out the month of July as we get into the final 2 months of the MLS Next Pro season. Austin Siney gets the whistle going. Orlando City, as usual, a little creativity in their kickoff, and they get things started here at MSU Soccer Park. David Goss with you here on MLSNextPro.com. Final match of the match day. Is that strike curled just wide? Imanol Almaguer getting the start at right back, coming off his first assist of the season on the opener against Chicago. Less than 5 minutes into that game, flashing that shot just wide of Marcucci's goal. AJ Marcucci, his 17th start of the season for New York Red Bulls 2, one of the best goalkeepers in the league. New York Red Bulls 2, the best defense in the Eastern Conference. Donkor now pushing forward. Frank Subufu gets his first touch. Subufu, some support in the attack there today. As we said, Wiki Carmona getting the start. Levante Mullings just behind him in the attack. Ibrahim Kasule, the hottest attacker in all of MLS Next Pro, in those attacking midfield spots. Stroud and Donkor pairing behind Copeland Berkeley. Continues his stint as the starting right back on this team. Omar Valencia returning once again. Matthew Nosita partnering Davi Alexandre in front of Marcucci as Berkeley throws it back in. Sabufu called for the foul. Nabi Kibunguchi and Abdi Salim, the two starters at center back for this Orlando team. So a very experienced center back pairing. Tommy Williams, 18 years old, got the start in the last game, picked up a red card. Franco Perez, Emmanuel Almaguer, who we saw take that shot, completing that back line. Perez here, trying to create a little bit of an opening. Mullins putting on the pressure. Pressure's going to come all game from New York. A high-pressing team now playing at home. Expect them to ratchet it up even more under Ibrahim Sakaya as Nosita steps forward and wins the header. 6'8" Matthew Nosita. His height early on here. Opportunity for Juninho to pull that ball back. Juninho and Christian Medina. Very experienced starting central midfield. Medina, 27-year-old, Buenos Aires native. Brings a good, steady, calming presence in that midfield. One of the big differences from last year when Orlando City B struggled second to last in the Eastern Conference, and it was a team built mainly out of the U17 squad from the academy. Still a number of those U17 players in this group, but now reinforced with some experience. Rivera up the line, early ball to the far post, and just wide from Almaguer. Almaguer active so far. FC Dallas Academy player since 11 years old. It's been 8 years with that club. We're finally leaving last season as Carmona heads that one along. Austin Saini, head referee, his first work of this game. Salim all the way back to Javier Otero. Otero, big Venezuelan, in goal out of the Orlando Academy. He's taking control of that starting spot for Orlando City B. Mullings plays through the lines. Ball played out left, and then it's knocked away. Corner kick coming here for the home side. Served in, headed away, inside the 6. Valencia snapping at the second opportunity and curling it wide. So now we'll see Orlando have their first opportunity to build out of the back on this goal kick. New York set up their pressure. You see Sabufu and Carmona, the two forwards up top. This formation for New York can blend in and out of a couple different shapes as Valencia picks up the turnover. Expect it to look a lot like a 4-1-3-2 when pressing on the goal kicks. 4-2-2 at other times. Carmona will be that second forward. It'll be Doncourt to sort of swap between playing alongside Stroud and alongside Kasule. Alexandre all the way back to Marcucci. Dangerously played, but Marcucci's ability with his feet, one of the first things that attracted the New York Red Bulls to him. Work there from Doncourt. Work out of space. Carmona's early ball. It's too far for Sabufu. Frank Sabufu coming off a goal against FC Cincinnati. 5 goals and an assist for the Ugandan international. Spent a large part of the year with the Uganda Black Cranes. Not with, of course, the New York Red Bulls too. He's on the squad for the most recent window of African nations qualifying in 3 matches in the African Championships last year for the Black Cranes. 21-year-old, of course, one of 2 Ugandans in this attack alongside Kasule, playing under Ugandan national team legend Ibrahim Skaya. Salim out wide. It's the right idea from Rivera, but the ball not hit cleanly enough for him to let it run through. Rivera, constant rotation there with Almaguer so far along that right wing. Carmona picks this one up. Carmona drives it in. His cross blocked. Gets to the second ball. Cleared by Orlando. Rivera now plays to the feet of Lynn. One back by Stroud. Doncor can't keep it in play. Wiki Carmona, his 5th appearance in MLS Next Pro. He appeared in the first 4 games of the season, had 3 goals. Like shot out of a cannon to start MLS Next Pro play. Since then, he's made 14 appearances in MLS, 6 starts, including a game-winning goal just over 2 weeks ago against the New England Revolution in MLS play. So Carmona now with the Leagues Cup layoff for New York Red Bulls. As they've won their group, they now have some time off before the next round. An opportunity to get these players some good minutes here with New York Red Bulls too. So that's why you see a Doncor, a Stroud, a Carmona, Nosita as well, who's been with New York Red Bulls too most of the season, but hadn't played in the last 2 weeks as he'd been on the bench in MLS and Leagues Cup action. Orlando City also won their group in Leagues Cup play. So that stretched their roster a little bit thinner as well. The roles, of course, for these 2 teams alongside 2 of the strongest academies in MLS Next, and 2 teams competing for trophies at the MLS level. I thought Martin Perelman's quote at the beginning of the season about this team was one of the best I've ever seen. He said, "We are the belt of Orlando City. You go in to buy a suit. You don't start with the belt. You focus on the suit. That's what matters. That's what you spend money on. But the belt keeps it up. If you don't have a belt on, your suit pants fall and the suit doesn't work." I thought that was the perfect way to describe how Orlando City B sits in the hierarchy of the club. Of course, they've already produced some fantastic players, and as I said, a little bit more of an experienced team this year, but Orlando City, arguably the best team at drafting players in Major League Soccer. You see what Duncan McGuire is doing this year, what Daryl TK did, of course, and now what Jack Lynn's done his 2 years with this group. Shaq Mohammed getting the opportunities with Orlando City B as well, a player that they traded up to draft number 2 out of Duke, Peter Stroud's former teammate. Scored the game winner against New York Red Bulls too back in April. Awkward fall there for Franco Perez, 21-year-old Uruguayan on loan from Rentistas down in Uruguay. Be a throw in here for Orlando. The heat finally breaking here in the Northeast. Heat wave last week, just south of 80 degrees. Kickoff here, less humidity than it was over the course of the last week or so. New York Red Bulls too, and Orlando feeling a little fortunate. It's a real feel of 80 with temperature of 79, so not much effect from the humidity. Sita to tackle that one away, no foul called. Encore now. And this one run through for Carmona. Carmona attacking. Carmona pulls it back. Long touch from Kasule. Now the press. All over this Orlando City back line. Eventually, foul called in favor of Juninho there. That a golden opportunity as Carmona gets to the end line. The pullback right on Kasule. He wasn't able to get his first touch clean enough to get that shot away. But a warning sign here for Orlando City. Acres of space for Carmona to peel off of Salim and find the space down that left channel. Sita coming over, wins the first ball, can't keep possession. Now Rivera into the attack. Rivera floats it out wide. Opportunity here for Orlando. Pulled back and too far for Solis. Opportunity for Orlando to break into the attack. It's Tablante and Solis trying to link up. Tablante ready for the pass back at the top of the box. Hit clean enough to get to him. Ball over the top here. The right back, Berkeley, coming all the way up. Berkeley, first time ball towards the middle. Kasule brings it down. Excuse me, Sabufu brings it down. Now played in from Valencia, headed away by Rivera. Valencia on it once again. Second ball played in. That one too far for Kasule. Otero had a lot of touches with the ball at his feet early on in this one. Sabufu initiates the press. Orlando plays through it. But it's turned over. Dangerous area now. New York flying forward. Win there from Juninho, and then the foul will go against Doncor. Juninho stepping in there to stop the run of Doncor. Otherwise, he was close to getting into a shooting situation. The momentum of this first half has gone the way New York would like. Example of how the Red Bulls affected Orlando in the previous match. It was 55% possession for Orlando City. In that matchup, going all the way back, as I said, to April, it took place in Orlando. This New York Red Bull 2 team, they were able to hold Orlando to just 80% completion percentage. That's 6 points less than what Orlando put on against Chicago last weekend in a game against what you would call a normal opponent. See our referee trying to organize things here along the sideline. Looks like Rivera forced to go off to get checked out by the medical team. This portion of the match is brought to you by your local Honda dealers. New York Red Bulls, too, in their first year in MLS Next Pro. After a long spell of success in USL Championship, they won a double. 2016, winning the regular season and then the final over SKC2. Went to 3 straight Eastern Conference Championship matches as well. Now moving over into a new league in MLS Next Pro, an opportunity for this team to make their name in a new competition. Of course, they produce some of the best young players in the Americas as Valencia tackled by Lynn. This is going to be a big chance on the edge of the box. Jack Lynn, the leading goal scorer, the second leading goal scorer in the league. Making the run all the way back, the effort, but got caught overzealous with the slide tackle, taking out the foot of Valencia. So Lynn tracking Valencia. You saw in the previous play, Valencia chose to play 2 early crosses in. I think Lynn may be trying to anticipate that. Goes in for the slide, but Valencia draws the contact. So Carmona and Doncor standing over this one. So These two in the team. Kasule doesn't take the set pieces. Knocked off the wall. Carmona now back towards Kasule. Doesn't get there. Valencia recycles possession. Floated in. Knocked down. Kasule out wide for Donkor. It's too far for the run of the Ghanaian. But for Kasule, this is a big opportunity. Coming off a lot of the responsibility with some strong attacking players around him. He's carried the load in the attack over the last few weeks. As I said, 9 goals and 4 assists in the last 10 matches. A little less responsibility here might make the game a little bit more fun for him. Somehow Orlando gets out of the early pressure. Nosita steps up and wins it back. Flipped over the top. Sabufu flicks it on. Tries to win his own header. Now it's played back and cleared. It was Salim first to that ball to get it to Otero. Nosita is going to win most of the headers in his vicinity. Kasule back for Carmona. Good momentum, good flow right now for the Red Bulls. Can they take advantage? Berkeley played in. Sabufu's header, and the offside flag goes up. Copeland, Berkeley, great shape on that cross. Sabufu, a dangerous header down. Good save by Otero. But the flag going up as I think almost everyone on the field knew it was going to. But credit to Otero for seeing that play through. Javier Otero, his 17th start of the year. Just 20 years old. Originally out of Venezuela. His family moving to the Orlando area, putting him in the Orlando Academy. Signing as a homegrown 21 days ago, 3 weeks today. Became an official Orlando City homegrown signing. Led MLS Next Pro in saves last year with 100 saves for Orlando B. Thiago, touch a little long. Now Medina turning back, go all the way to Salim. Touch out wide. Put on Rivera, and then a push from behind from Valencia. I saw the referee have to come over and deal with some frustration from the Orlando bench right here in this area, already with some contact from Valencia. The whistle blown, no card given here by Austin Siney. Don't mind that from a referee if he can keep control. So that's the question is. Using a card early on here for some unnecessary contact like that. The tempers be kept low enough here in this match. Otero waiting for the pressure to come. Salim shown composure to play through it. And now Orlando breaks out. Perez along the left wing. He's looking for the run of Tablante. Early ball from Marcucci up to Sabufu. It's one back by Orlando. Salim over to Medina. Medina, his pass deflected. One back by New York. New York Red Bulls 2 coming off 2-game road trip. It was a 2-1 loss in Philadelphia. Gave up a goal in the first 5 minutes and the last 5 minutes of that game. And they took a 1-0 lead against FC Cincinnati, as now we'll see our first card of the game. So it looks like Almaguer will pick it up. To the right back, flying forward. We've seen his interchange with Rivera already, but took too big a piece of Peter Stroud, causing our first booking of the game here at the 20-minute mark. So for New York, they saw a red card to Jaden Reed early in the last match. pulling down a man from behind. New York up 1-0 at that point. They were the better team throughout that game, even down a man. They end up winning 2-0 against FC Cincinnati last week at NKU Stadium. So for this Red Bull team, starting to gain some confidence here. Coming off the back of 2 tough victories to their rivals. It was a 3-2 loss here at MSU to NYCFC before the trip, and that 2-1 loss at Philadelphia. So now Red Bulls trying to find their feet again as Peter Stroud's back up on his feet. Duke Blue Devil, a big addition into this team. Former West Ham Academy player, former West Ham Academy captain. Of course, younger brother of one of the best New York Red Bull 2 players in history, Jared Stroud, the all-time leader in assists in Red Bull 2 history. Of course, now playing with St. Louis City, very successfully in Major League Soccer. Peter Stroud now coming back to their native New Jersey for his first year of professional soccer. Ball over the top, early pass to Lynn. Lynn lays it off. Not able to find Solis. Good win by Medina out of midfield. Tablante trying to get to the end line. He does. And Marcucci reads the danger. And he's first to that ball across the 6. First real interchange we've seen in the attack for Orlando to break through Red Bull shape. And we're going to get another yellow card here. So I just talked about a moment ago, Austin Saini choosing not to card Omar Valencia for his push in the back. Would he be able to keep things under control? He's now shown 2 yellow cards in 2 minutes here to Orlando City players. Medina, the former San Telmo defensive midfielder, picking up that card. Player whose experience you don't normally see in MLS Next Pro ranks. Medina, 27 years old, coming over from Argentina. Previous relationship with Perelman and the coaching staff, as Valencia now has acres of space. 1v1. Puts it across the 6. The clearance by Kibonguchi. Carmona comes over to connect. Stroud with some space. Ball over the top for the run here of Doncor. Doncor doesn't get his touch right. But a lot of pressure put on that Orlando City back line. Salim Kibonguchi able to see that first cross out. Now they're gonna have to step up in responsibility on the ball. Kibonguchi, the line to Perez. Back to Kibonguchi, ball over the top. Nosita, getting it up to Berkeley. Lynn now. Brings it down, Juninho tries to restart the attack. Solis to Juninho. Juninho gets past the first defender. Nosita closing. Matthew Nosita, the Navy midshipman, being ridden down with the tackle. He's able to poke that ball away. Thrown into Juninho. Now Solis battling away, surrounded by red jerseys. It'll be the first corner kick of the game coming up for the away side. Kibonguchi and Salim, the 2 center backs, come forward as options. Jack Lynn sitting on the top of the 6. Franco Perez and Christian Medina in the box as well. Kasule making trouble in the corner. Now he will step off. Rivera out there with Tablante. So it'll be the outswinger from Rivera coming. Rivera curls it in. Open header, and it's just wide. Nabi Kibanguchi. The best look of the game for Orlando. Former Minnesota center back. Just able to completely untouched approach the ball and leap. He had to keep power on it and aim for a corner from a decent distance away. But Kibanguchi, a big opportunity that threatens the Red Bull goal. Orlando took a 1-0 lead down in Orlando in the first match between these two teams. Red Bulls came back to make it 2-1. Orlando saw out the 3-2 victory. Foul against Donkor here. It'll be a first yellow card to a Red Bull player. Ronald Donkor picks up the yellow card.
Gentlemen, the referee has issued a yellow card.
Donkor coming off the back of two pretty lengthy substitute appearances in Leagues Cup play. You see the idea there. If he takes that one off Salim, he's in on goal. But Salim showing off his footwork, able to turn under that pressure. And all Donkor could get was a piece of the Kenyan-born center back. Kenya not really a country that produces a ton of players that play in the United States. Really anywhere outside of Kenya, around the world. And yet, the center back pairing today of Kibanguchi and Salim, both native Kenyan-born. Both raised, for the most part, here in the United States. Salim's family applying for asylum and growing up in Western New York in the Buffalo area. Kibanguchi, Elk Grove, California. Ending up playing at UC Davis for his college career. Salim started at Buff State in Division III and ended up a national champion at Syracuse. One of the top draft picks by Orlando as Carmona now picks up some space. Salim will have to defend. The help coming though. Almaguer does a good job supporting his center back. Stroud now wins it back from Rivera. Kibanguchi stepping forward. And collisions left and right across the field. So Rivera picks up the foul. He's attempting to talk himself into a yellow card here. So I'll have to keep his composure. Puerto Rico international. It's a dangerous free kick coming up for New York. Stroud and Carmona now. Both standing over this. Carmona with the left foot, Stroud with the right. Wilfredo Rivera just doing everything he can to frustrate the referee. Donkor standing off on the side of this free kick, wide open. Everyone on Orlando pointed at him. He still gets the ball, and it's cleared away. Lynn on the edge of the defense, and Rivera in the wall. Both pointed him out. No one went to mark Donkor. Donkor now called for the foul on the dribble. So Orlando fortunate to get away there as both these teams struggling to defend on set pieces. Kasule stepping forward. Won it for a moment. Now Valencia heads it down. Big switch. This is the tough part about playing New York Red Bulls too. This portion of the match is brought to you by the Hospital for Special Surgery, the official hospital of the New York Red Bulls. Stroud, big switch to Berkeley. The academy right back. Copeland Berkeley coming forward now. He has it taken away. Can Lynn launch the counterattack? Opportunity to get forward. To Blante. Back in for Solis. Solis now. Trying to play it back out wide. Berkeley had made the run to clean up his own mess. And now Kasule. He starts the counter for New York. Doncor able to stay in an onside position. Coming inside, and Kasule can't return the give and go. 10 action. Orlando's going to open things up and go. Red Bulls are going to be only too happy to play the game at that tempo. It was a big opportunity there for Orlando City on the attack. Carmona now with space. Carmona drives it. Wiki Carmona is back. He returns to MLS Next Pro for the first time in 3 months. He's got his 4th goal in just 5 appearances. Carmona picks it up in a pocket of space, and this is what attracted the New York Red Bulls to this player. Venezuelan youth international, as clean a striker of the ball as there is, just an elite left foot. Has started this year in MLS Next Pro play on a tear. As I said, 3 goals in his first 4 games of the season. Winner in Major League Soccer this year already as well. After a tough year last year, started with injuries, never really found his feet in MLS. Got 9 starts for New York Red Bulls 2, was not the same player as he was 2 years ago. Now back this season, finding his feet, and now back with New York Red Bulls 2. Gives them a lead that you have to say is deserved by the run of play. Both teams have had chances. Both teams have executed their game plan, but the game has been played geographically as well as statistically and at a tempo that favors New York Red Bulls 2. Another turnover. Sabufu battling. Carmona comes and picks it up. Mullings now back to Carmona. Orlando sending all their numbers back to help defend now. Final 10 minutes of this first half. Orlando is just about holding the fort maybe and keeping it at a 1-goal deficit. Doncor in a bright spot in this game, but hasn't been effective. He's at least able to earn a corner kick for his team. Sita, his 6'8" frame forward. Red Bulls here threatening to go short. It'll be Kasule to take set piece service back over here for the first time in this first half. Took every set piece in the last game against FC Cincinnati. Carmona out wide. Kasule now will serve it. Open header on the far post, and Sabufu got all of that ball, just not able to direct it on frame. Kasule sitting on top of the 18 alongside the 2 center forwards for New York Red Bulls. Thiago, dribble out, turns it over, but the foul called against Stroud deeper on the field. As Solis just knocked over by Stroud for no reason. A little bit of a reprieve for Orlando City. 4th and 5th place, tied right now in the Eastern Conference on 33 points, 19 games played between Orlando City and New York Red Bulls. This game would decide who moves ahead. And Valencia now trying to move his team ahead by 2 goals, but his cross can't find a teammate. Valencia's been in a couple of dangerous areas. The Panamanian left back called into the Gold Cup after the group stage for eventual finalists Panama. Heartbroken by Mexico in the final at SoFi Stadium, but what a great experience for Omar Valencia. You can see why his ability to get forward, great shape, every ball that he hits, the curve, but hasn't been able to pinpoint it yet. So Almaguer forward to pull the pressure off of Salim a little. Kibun Gucci starts the attack out wide to Perez. Foul against Kasule. You can see Orlando trying to take a little bit of the air out of the game here. A little bit of the sting out of this Red Bull pressure. Feel like water running down on you over and over again over the course of a game when the Red Bulls too are clicking. Switch here. That's a dangerous moment. It's a chance for New York to step up their pressure anytime that ball gets hit long. Carmona now bounces past Salim. Salim with the 50-50 shoulder. He loses it. Carmona back. Donkor trying to get the shot away. Donkor pulls it back. He's got red around him. Mulling's shot is blocked. Donkor had his pick of teammates to play it for. Mulling's shot is blocked, and now a break the other way. Solis over for Rivera, and Marcucci able to guide it out. This is what we expected between two of the best teams in MLS Next Pro. It was a 3-2 match in their first game earlier in the year, and you can see why. Let's take a look at this sequence. Donkor could have laid it off for Sabufu. Could have played it to the feet of Kasule. It was a good idea for the run of Mullings. And just unfortunate that Medina was in the way for Mullings. And then an immediate attack the other way. So at least had the right idea. The two defenders were near him. But Berkeley, credit to him, was able to continue his run. Recovered into the gap to make the pass just a little tougher for Solis. And now Lin picks it up. Sita drags down Lin. Free kick coming in a dangerous area for Orlando. Four different Orlando City players gathered around this one. Solis now steps off it. Got the left foot right now of Tablante and the right foot of Juninho. Juninho steps in, his shot, and it goes just past that near post. Good shape on it, good power, but not able to trouble Marcucci in the end by keeping it on frame. Juninho on loan from one of the giants down in Brazil in Vasco da Gama. Started a bulk of games for them over the last few years. The young midfielder getting an opportunity to live and play in the U.S. this year. 4 goals, 4 assists. Now in his 17th appearance. Gucci back to the feet of Juninho. Turned over off the Brazilian's touch. Trying to recover now. Kasule escaped Juninho. It's a good tackle though by Almaguer. He earns the foul for his team. Ibrahim Kasule is capable of breaking a defense down with either a pass or a dribble. But it's his movement off the ball that's made him so good this season. Often that first runner into the box for either the fullback or the forward pulled wide to find. So good finishing. It's first time or setting himself up with his first touch. He's been perfect from the penalty spot as well. this season, which has been a huge factor for New York to help steal some results as well. You do not in any way accidentally get to 9 goals and 4 assists in a 10-game span. Kasule, just 19 years old. A special young player, trying to follow in the footsteps of Steven Serwada, who had a great run with Red Bulls too before signing his MLS contract. As now Sabufu pulls it back, intercepted by Salim. Medina lays it off. Valencia almost got there, a second too late. Omar Valencia now will pick up his first yellow card. So 2 yellow cards shown to players on both these teams so far in this first half. 33rd minute goal by Wiki Carmona. A lone strike as you see Valencia. He had the right idea. It's a hospital ball from Medina in a dangerous area. Valencia's job is to pressure, but got there a second late. Rivera took the contact. And it ends up being the yellow card for the Panamanian international. So he's under pressure. Ibanguchi complaining about Bufu falling to the ground there. Lynn now drops a little bit deeper. They'll pick up the ball, and I think this is contact off the referee. It's going to be a restart here as Austin Siney didn't read the play well enough. So he'll restart possession for Orlando. When a team pressures like the Red Bulls, I kind of want the referee to be a little more conscious of how he restarts play in a moment like that. As that ball rolls out. Ball played, dropped at your feet with no momentum. Going to be easy to deal with as there's about 3 Red Bull attackers right around Juninho and Medina. Ibanguchi back up to Juninho. It has been a physical game, to say the least, here between these two teams. 19 fouls already, 13 of them by the New York Red Bulls. But they do have the lead, the only stat that matters. At 14. Play taken by Orlando. Juninho trying to dance through a few defenders. Turned over. Carmona trying to get on the end of Berkeley's ball. Ibanguchi now. Play it out of pressure. Salim with the early ball over the top. And Alfredo Rivera in a battle against Omar Valencia. Rivera at the Gold Cup for qualifiers for the Puerto Rican national team. Valencia, as I said, the Gold Cup after the group stages. You see a little push on the bottom of your screen. But the first time these two teams, those two players have gotten into it off the ball, as we are into a minimum of 2 minutes of stoppage time here in the first half. A strong team for New York Red Bulls under Ibrahim Sakaya. It's Wiki Carmona, Peter Stroud, Ronald Donkor, all returning for their first time in months to play with New York Red Bulls too. Matthew Nosita hadn't been with the team for the last 3 matches, back into the side after his time on the bench in Leagues Cup. So loaded team for the home side. They've used it to good effect here in this first half. The knock-on of that as well. It's a little bit of extra depth, as here's a chance for Sabufu, and he hits the post. Otero, Ibanguchi playing into the pressure. Sabufu looking to just guide that one into an empty net. And he hits it off the post. Encore now. Is there a second goal in this first half? It'd be a heartbreaker for Orlando. It'd be massive for the home team. Berkeley in the box. Played in. Knocked up into the air. Medina then clears it. To the feet of Solis. John Solis. Trying to break out a little. He's able to sneak this one through for Rivera. Can Orlando steal one at the break? And that one bounced safely into the arms of Marcucci. You can see why these two teams are tied right now for 4th place in the Eastern Conference. Two of the best teams both ways over the course of the season, putting on a real show for us in this first half. Open end-to-end soccer, but the difference right now is Wiki Carmona, the Venezuelan youth international, back in MLS Next Pro with a bang. A 30-yard screamer that he was able to guide past Otero to put his team up 1-0 here at halftime. MLS Next Pro got to partake in MLS All-Star Week by reviving Goalie Wars. Not only did the 4 keepers perform at a high level, we got some unique access with the player cam powered by AT&T 5G.
And that means soccer camp season.
First semifinal. On the left, Ben Martino, and on the right, Isaac Walker, brought back unofficially last year, now to popular demand. Big chance for Ben Martino now to try to tie it up, and that should do it for Isaac Walker, who is winning this first round of Goalie Wars. Now it's time for the second semifinal. Damian Las and Xavier Valdez going head to head. Equalizer from Xavier Valdez. Now to win for Damian Las, and he does in overtime. Damian Las advancing to the final of Goalie Wars. Isaac Walker, Damian Las doesn't he? Pull this away, he's going to, I think, isn't he? He knows the time. Damian Las has got to go quick. Oh, does he get it?
Oh my goodness.
But in all seriousness, Damian Las has put on the
The
show.
2023 MLS Next Goalie Wars win. Yes, Isaac Walker, the new champion.
Let's go! Give me the bell, baby!
Isaac Walker, MLS Next Pro.
It's such a goalkeeper.
Goalie Wars only a part of what has been a special 2 weeks as we wrapped up our international competitions on Friday. Michelle was in Salt Lake and got to sit down with RSL Assistant General Manager Tony Beltran to talk about his role with the club and how international competition can help clubs domestically.
I'm Michelle Montaigne, and today MLS Next Pro is absolutely honored to be sitting down with Tony Beltran, Assistant General Manager for Real Salt Lake. And can we just start with you describing what exactly that entire role entails?
Sure, absolutely, and a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for having me. So as the Assistant General Manager for Real Salt Lake, I oversee the day-to-day operations and the longevity of our developmental side. So that includes Next Pro and also our next teams, our academy teams, Real Monarchs, and our U15 and U17 academy side.
A lot of those guys who get to use this beautiful facility. What went into the decision to build this really one-of-a-kind, state-of-the-art facility?
Ambition. And I think an understanding of the roster rules of MLS. Our previous owner, Doyle Hansen, saw an efficiency, and that's in collaboration with the front office, and that was that there's an obvious benefit on the cap side of having homegrown players play for your first team. And so we previously had our our academy off-site in Arizona, which is also part of our territory, but bringing it in-house here in Utah allowed us the continued advantage of having all of our players under one roof. And so now, with housing the Monarchs and our academy full-time in our residential dormitory, on a given day we have the ability to pull players from each team, have them up for training, have them go down for opportunities, and do all of that instantaneously. So it's a huge advantage, it's a huge resource, and thank you so much for complimenting. It is a beautiful campus and we are very spoiled.
No kidding. It is beautiful, for sure. But in terms of the impact you've seen it play on the field, can you talk a little bit about how it has shown up and how having all of these things under one roof has really generated value on the pitch?
Yeah, I think a really good example is reflected in our first team. And so for the last 5 years, Real Salt Lake has led the league in homegrown minutes played in the regular season. So it's a stat that I'm really proud of and our club is really proud of, and I think really just embodies what we're about, and that's development. And we've had for years a fantastic pipeline from our academy to the first team, and it's brought us great success. And now, again, in this new era with new ownership and renewed resources, we're even more excited and bullish about the opportunities for our academy players coming through the ranks and beyond.
One of those opportunities, obviously this MLS Next Pro Invitational, your second year hosting it. How does it help the club to be able to host an international tournament? What does it do for the club on the international stage?
It's a lot of fun. First of all, it's a lot of fun. And I think before speaking about the club, I'll reference for what it does to the players. As a former player myself, I think this is really important to hone in on. Look, any time you're going to challenge yourself against your international peers is really important. Important just because of the opportunity from a competitive standpoint, but also in development, having diversity in opponent, diversity in experiences, like anything in life, just propels everything forward. And so from a player standpoint, on the developmental side, I think it's wonderful what the MLS Next Pro has built here. And we're happy to be a partner in that, now and hopefully in future years. And then on the club side, again, I think it's just a great way to legitimize our developmental teams within the global landscape and to build relationships with European sides and to build future pathways and ties. And again, just to another indicator, another metric to challenge our players in a different environment.
You touched on two things there, the club side and the league side. So on that note, MLS Next Pro, only in its second year, how does what you guys have built here as an organization kind of provide a model for other clubs in MLS Next Pro to emulate?
Oh, that's first of all, thank you. I appreciate that. I don't know. I think each market is unique, and so the setup. I think what Nashville is doing and having their MLS Next Pro team off-site in a different, almost secondary market is really interesting. And so I think it depends on the makeup of the team and the locale and the community and what works there. But for us specifically, one thing that we constantly hear from all of our peers in the landscape is that they're very jealous, very envious of the opportunities that our campus provides. And that's having all of our players, and that's from the 13, 14-year-olds all the way up to the professional players, on our campus 10.5 months out of the year. And that is a huge luxury because we get so many more touch points, so many more opportunities to influence the development of all of our players. And so I think one thing this campus does really well, and one thing that other markets maybe have tried to take away from us, is the ability for this campus or a setup like this to inspire development in an individual. Because that's a real important component of teaching. It's not just conveying information and just saying words and teaching. It's inspiring others, inspiring students to take ownership of learning, right? To take ownership of their own careers. And I think our market does that really well.
Speaking of careers, you've spent almost all of your professional playing career with this club. So for you just personally, getting to be an assistant GM, getting to have a hand in helping develop these young guys, what does that mean to you?
It's very special. Thank you so much. I feel so fortunate. I definitely appreciate that this does not happen with every professional career, but being able to play the entirety of my career, my pro career in Salt Lake City, and now working in the front office for a club and for a community that really is a chief protagonist in my life is very special. Very special. So I feel so fortunate to be part of this community, and I'm so thankful that the club still wants me.
Well, for good reason. Tony, thank you so much for the time.
My pleasure. Thank you.
It's not every day we get to sit down with someone in the front office. This is Tony Beltran, Assistant General Manager for Real Salt Lake.
Tony Beltran, one of the best around Major League Soccer. It was a busy week all around with MLS Next Pro clubs. Michelle and Samara have a big task wrapping it all up in this week's Rewind.
Despite the imminent weather throughout the weekend and aside all the international action going on here in Utah, Matchday 18 delivered quite the excitement. Michelle Montaigne and I are here to get you caught up on the best moments of the weekend. Now we start this rewind with great news out of LA. LAFC star goalkeeper Maxime Crépeau is back. The Canadian keeper returned to the pitch following a lengthy recovery after suffering a devastating leg injury in the 2022 MLS Cup final. Following the match, Crépeau shared what it meant to be back in action and be part of the team's 2-1 win over Tacoma Defiance.
Honestly, it's been a hell of a road, so personally I was just happy to play again, honestly, to play, to enjoy it, to have fun. That was a big part that I've missed playing, and then obviously there's a lot of ups and downs during those 9 months with the recovery process. But the fact that I've been able to come out with the guys, and to be fair, we handled well the second half where we got the result and we got the job done. We did some small adjustments, and tactically we came up on top. So I'm happy to get the 3 points with the guys because they deserve it. We worked well today, and then now it's just to carry on and to get momentum out of that. Yeah.
Now, keeping it out west, when the top team in the Western Conference is calling it their comeback of the year, you know it's got to be a big deal. Rapids 2 goes down 3-0 at the break, but fights back in the second half with 2 goals less than 10 minutes apart, supplemented by an Austin FC2 own goal to send this one to a shootout. That's when Adam Beaudry took over, making a critical save on the final kick from the spot to give his team the shootout victory. This is the second of 3 meetings between the top 2 teams in the West, with Rapids 2 so far taking multiple points each time.
Now, if there's someone who's going to deliver some remarkable talking points, that's our defending champs. While Crew 2 took a 6-2 loss against Union 2, the game delivered moments we could not even make up. Just 6 minutes into the match, the Cappies went down a keeper following a foul that earned him a straight red card. Midfielder Clay Hallstad came in to replace the starting Crew 2 keeper and did an impressive job in the first half. However, the visitors took advantage of the mishap and delivered a flurry of goals, 2 of them coming from academy players David Vasquez and Luciano Sanchez.
And for the second straight week, there is a new name atop the Golden Boot race standings. With his brace in OCB's game against Chicago Fire 2, Jack Lynn sits in sole first with a tally of 12 total goals this season. This marks his second 2-goal game in the month of July alone, having scored in all but 1 game this month. Behind him sits Nick Firmino with 11, followed by 4 players who each have 10.
What a weekend. You can catch all the highlights on MLSNextPro.com and tune into Matchday 19 on MLS Season Pass on Apple TV. We'll see you back here next week. For Michelle and I'm Samara Perez signing off from Utah.
Well, that's a review of last weekend. We had just had a big weekend of action as well, so stick to MLSNextPro.com for the upcoming rewind as you take a look at the schedule. Coming up, 2 matches on Thursday. A lot of Eastern Conference action. Columbus Crew just sitting ahead of the 2 teams we see here on the field. We've got Friday night doubleheader. A nice slate of games, including that Florida derby between Orlando and Miami on Saturday. And then a full slate of games coming up on Sunday as well. Let's take a look at what we saw in that first half. An open game, electric stuff between these 2 teams both ways. This was less than 2 minutes into the game. That shot sprayed wide from Almaguer. Brufu called offside in the end on the back of that header, but it was a sign of things to come for these two teams. Orlando, they tried to play through New York's pressure. They were able to do so a couple times, and when they did, they were able to break out into the attack, but maybe this is the best chance for them. Gucci, the center back, with a wide open header, not able to keep it on frame, and then moments later, Wiki Carmona opens up the scoring. That's too much space for a player of his quality. Great job hitting that one from distance, kept it on frame. He now has 4 goals in 5 MLS Next Pro appearances. What a season for Wiki Carmona. There could have been 2 goals in that first half for New York. Donkor setting up Ovante Mullings on that chance, and then Sabufu does the right thing. He takes it first time. He doesn't need to generate power. But that directed shot hits off the frame, and we're ready for our second half here. New York Red Bulls 2, and they're all red kits going left to right on your screens. Orlando City B, and they're all white kits going right to left on your monitor. Austin Saney gave out 4 cards and blew the whistle over 20 times in that first half. A lot of work to do. He, along with his crew, will blow the whistle and get us started here for this second half at MSU Soccer Park. Orlando City 3-2 winners in the first matchup this season between these two teams. We got a lot of action coming up here in this second half. David Goss with you on MLSNextPro.com for this one. Orlando City B, the 4th best attack in the Eastern Conference. New York Red Bulls 2, the best defense in the Eastern Conference. So it's iron against iron here. Last time it was Orlando's attack with those 3 goals at home. New York Red Bulls do this time. Battling. He's frustrated now. He's walked away, just yelling at Austin Saney, our head referee. It's an opportunity, though, through the channel. Bouncing past Marcucci, a chance to shoot, and it's tied up. Moises Tablante put through on goal. Marcucci off his line, beaten to it by Tablante. And the young Venezuelan, his 3rd goal of the season. What a start to this second half. Moises Tablante, born in Venezuela, raised in Orlando. Marcucci's always going to be aggressive off his line with how high the Red Bull back line plays. Anytime they're trying to pressure, it means if you can weight that ball correctly, there's space to play in the middle there. Well, what composure there from Moises Tablante. He was the 2nd leading scorer last year with 6 goals on the year, his 3rd this season, so back on a similar pace. And Juninho was so frustrated. He had stopped playing and was nearly yelling at the referee, and his team was able to play through and find the goal. So as I said, you know there's going to be opportunities between these two teams. Who now can land the next punch? Sita. Heads it back out. Mullings heads it down for Stroud. Sita and Davi Alexandre. Center back pairing for New York. Copeland Berkeley and Omar Valencia, the 2 fullbacks. Peter Stroud, the defensive midfielder behind Ibrahim Kasule, Ovante Mullings, and Ronald Donkor. Frank Sabufu and Wiki Carmona, the attack, all ahead of AJ Marcucci. He's going to be frustrated with that moment. It was similar in the first matchup, except it wasn't Marcucci in goal when Alan Rutkowski came off his line. He was beaten to the ball, and that led to the Orlando City second goal. There's a goal for Wilfredo Rivera. Rivera back into the team for this second half. In that midfield alongside Juninho, the goal scorer Tablante, and Christian Medina, who picked up a yellow card in that first half. As now Juninho is down behind the plane. He's been frustrated since this half kicked off. He stopped playing and was jawing with the referee, and now knocked behind the play. He's still unhappy with the way this half has played out. Navi Kibanguchi and Abdi Salim, the center back pairing. Franco Perez at left back. Ima Almaguer at right back. And then Jacqueline and Jan Solis, the two attackers in this team. To restart play here. Can New York find the tempo and threat, especially with their pressure that they did in the first half again? Or does that goal spring a little bit more for Orlando City to play off of? Stroud's now pressured. Here's a chance for Orlando. And Nosita turns it back over to Lin. Good touch through from Juninho. And the flag goes up against Lin. Look at the feet there from Juninho, the Brazilian attacker. His momentum falling backwards didn't look like he was going to be able to find a ball through, and the offside flag going up against Lin. We haven't really seen a threat from Jack Lin. But right now, on 12 goals, tied for the Golden Boot lead. He was best 11 last year in MLS Next Pro with 15 goals. So you know he doesn't need many looks. He doesn't need them often to be able to find himself a goal. Valencia gets called for offside as well. Valencia, a big threat in that first half, coming down that left wing. Maybe a conversation with the Orlando coaching staff and their team about using the offside trap to manage his ability to get forward into the attack in this second half. Mullings brings that one down. Early ball from Carmona to Sabufu. Otero, under pressure, he's able to get his body over it. It's a good battle. Got Javier Otero at 6'6", going up there against the Ugandan center forward in Frank Sabufu at 6'4". Alexandre over the top for Berkeley. Berkeley pressuring Perez, trying to guide it out. It's not going to make it. Now Perez wins it back. Still 5 substitutes available to these two coaching staffs. Looks like Juninho's worked himself into a fury enough to perform at a high level here. A dangerous turnover. Ball into Kasule. Now Carmona. Carmona attacking the back line. And Salim doing enough to get his body in the way. Otero, a lot of action in front of him in the first half. It's been more straightforward so far early on here in this second half. New York is able to force the turnovers in that first half, and Orlando plays through it calmly. Has this ball in a dangerous area. And now Marcucci comes over and see his frustration. Put in a tough spot there, Marcucci. Now Mullings. Off the defender, and Orlando has the Red Bulls rattled here at home to start this second half. A goal 2 minutes in by Tablante. For New York, everything has shifted from that first half. An opportunity here for Sabufu off the back shoulder. Rolled across the box. Otero gets his paw to it. It looked like it was going to be a tap in there for Donkor. Sabufu able to roll off the shoulder of Kiba Gucci. Just trying to roll it across the 6 for a tap in for Donkor. Now Solis under pressure. Feels like Solis playing a little deeper in this second half alongside Juninho and Medina. That's given his team an extra option in their build-out as Mullings takes this one over, pulls it back, rolls through Carmona, and he puts it over the crossbar. A golden opportunity for Wiki Carmona to bag a brace and put his team back ahead. Kasule sensing his teammate behind him, he lets Mullings pull back, run through. And Carmona never gets his shoulders over the ball, snaps at it, and pulls his shot over the crossbar. So the second big opportunity for New York in a matter of minutes here. Early in this second half, Sabufu puts the pressure on Otero. Over the top. Now, coming deep to pick it up. Turns it over to Berkeley. Berkeley's ball too far from Mullings, but Kasule cleans it up. Sabufu now. Sabufu trying to work some space. His layoff, not strong enough for Carmona. Juninho launches the counterattack. The goal scorer, Tablante. Back to Juninho. Juninho has come out just serving in this second half. Solis out wide for Rivera. Rivera keeps it in play and loses the tackle to Valencia. Those two went to battle throughout that first half. Some of it in the run of play, a lot of it after the whistles. Off the ball between the two of them. Corner played in. Knocked down. Juninho. Curled shot took a deflection, so it'll be another corner kick coming here for the away side. Wide open header for Kibanguchi in the first half off a corner kick. It was maybe the best look of the half for Orlando. The attack has looked brand new for the Purple Lions in this second half. We know they can be dangerous in these moments. Solis to serve it in once again. It's hit low, knocked down by Lin. And it needed a second touch as it came through the box from Perez. But another dangerous opportunity for Orlando to try and take their first lead of the game. They went up 1-0 in the first matchup between these teams, then fell behind 2-1 before winning 3-2. Trying to reverse that here. At least that order, not the result they're hoping in this second matchup. Sita once again wins a header in the midfield. Kasule out wide for Donkor, back into Kasule's feet. Laid down for Valencia, his cross knocked away. Valencia picks it up though. Stroud to Carmona. Back to Stroud. Valencia now. Second cross played in. Again, defended away by Salim. Abdi Salim standing strong right now. Along his center back pair and Nabi Kibanguchi. Attack 1v1 here from Carmona. And Juninho not giving any quarter here in this second half. This portion of the match is brought to you by your local Honda dealers. It's been an electric start to this second half. A goal in the opening moments from Orlando. Two big opportunities for both teams besides that. Perez, ball over the top once again down this left channel for Orlando. This time it's Solis to the goal scorer, Tablante. Pulled across the box, headed away by Nosita. Solis now brings it down. Across the 18. And now Orlando will step their entire lines up into the attacking third. Juninho has it back for Salim. Feels like if there's going to be a goal, Juninho's going to be a part of it, the way he's played in this second half. Solis to Perez, now Tablante, what a ball, and it goes through the 6 and out the other side. The weight on that ball from Franco Perez is top-class stuff. Tablante, a threat all half. Look at this pass from Perez. He reads the momentum of Berkeley. He doesn't need to put a lot of power on it. He puts it behind the defender. He allows Tablante to run onto it. Tablante does the right thing. He hits it with pace low across the 6. And surprising so far in this game, especially the second half. Tablante has gotten a couple balls into the 6. That's where you expect Jack Lynn to live. Tied for the Golden Boot in MLS Next Pro. Best 11 last year, number 2 in the entire league with 15 goals. 12 already this season to equal Nick Firmino. It feels like there have been some chances out there that you'd expect Lynn to get on the end of. Alexandre. Long ball. Headed away by Salim, and Kenyon is fouled by Sabufu.
Now we're going. Hey, Ronald, a little bit higher. Go front now, go!
Salim under pressure once again. The second half has had everything so far. It would feel dangerous to try and predict what's to come between these two teams. Little Monday Night Football action for you here on MLSNextPro.com. New York Red Bulls 2 hosting Orlando City B in league play to close out the month of July. Orlando 3-1 this month. A dominant performance for them, trying to finish on a high. Two teams tied in 4th place in the Eastern Conference. Trying to stand strong as they head towards the playoff stretch. Opportunity to have home field advantage as well as pick your opponent. It's going to be a cool element of MLS Next Pro playoffs this year. Top 7 teams qualify for the playoffs. The number 1 seeds in the East and West get a bye. And in order, the next 3 teams get to choose who they will play in the opening round.
Yeah, second.
Gucci turns it over, but his team wins it back. Wante not able to keep possession. Kasule now starts the attack. Doncor. Paid off for Carmona. Back to Carmona. Carmona immediately closed down by white jerseys. Orlando not making the same mistake again. Valencia drives this cross in, and what a header from Franco Perez. On the far post, he somehow got his body around Sabufu. He ends up getting the foul called, but that's purely because of the effort he made to get between Sabufu and the ball. He ended up chesting that one away. That is as good at back post defending as you will see. It's one of the hardest things to do as a fullback, to deal with an attacking player coming into your blind side at pace. Sita in the tackle. That'll be a throw in here for Al Maguire and Orlando. Juninho, half Juninho has had. Montero puts it on Juninho's foot under pressure. Dangerous moment there. Still Orlando fighting to get it back, and finally Maguire able to clear it. Montero there necessarily puts his team into more pressure. So we saw four yellow cards in the first half. Almost a miracle we didn't see more. It's been much different in this second half. Still competitive, still physical. But we have not seen the same level of fouling as we get ready for our first substitutions of the game. So it looks like Alex Freeman, the right back, will come on for Orlando City. First change of the game for Martin Perelman. So Freeman coming on for Rivera, so he's going to play a little bit higher up the field than normal. Alex Freeman, though, with 4 assists. Excuse me, with 4 goals to assist this year. So definitely an attacking threat. That's what's gotten him on the field as a fullback, as now New York launches into the attack. Carmona to the far post. It's over everyone's head. Rolls back out the other way. New York are preparing their first substitutions of the game as well. Sita showing off his length and ability in winning the tackle. A little overzealous coming over the back of Jacqueline. So here are the
Ladies and gentlemen,
changes coming for the New York Red Bulls. 3 changes here.
Number 79, Rafael.
So Davi Alexandre coming off for Gutierrez. Should be a like-for-like change. As Mohamed Sofo coming on as well. The final change is the new man in the team. Mosquera officially signed last week, the day of the match against FC Cincinnati. Rafael Mosquera came off the bench for 28 minutes and included an assist in his performance. So Mosquera already a bright spot in this New York team. So Ricky Carmona had the chances to double his goal scoring tally tonight. Wasn't able to put it away. That'll be it for his evening. can the substitutes bring for New York? One of the nice things when you're able to strengthen your team with those players coming out of the first team, so we do get more depth in the squad. It'll be Juninho standing over this one. Excuse me, Tablante. Down at the top of the box. Donkor, a bright appearance in this one. He was active, gotten some really dangerous spots. Did not see the final third quality you would like. You have to think Mosquera in similar spots based off what we saw against Cincinnati last week, as this long strike goes just wide. Could be able to take advantage. Marcucci now getting ready to restart play. Valencia up to the feet of Kasule. Kasule looking for Sabufu. Juninho heads it away. Stroud can't keep possession. He'll get called for the foul through the back of Solis. A good second half here for John Solis. Different job than the first half. First half tried to stretch the back line, be a threat in on goal. In this second half, he's dropped in deep. He's provided more strength in midfield for this team. It's really helped Thiago go and find the game a little bit deeper, which has been key to this Orlando team's ability to build through New York's pressure. That is now Alex Freeman affect this Orlando City squad as the lone sub made. Stroud takes the pass back, goes up the field to Berkeley. Now Mullings. Mullings looking for the through ball toward the rut of Sofo. It's Mohamed Sofo, Ghanaian off the bench, trying to make an impact for this New York team. He throws it into Sabufu. Wide from Mullings. Composure from Berkeley. Back to the feet of Sabufu. This touch just a little too long and cleared into the sky by Medina. Back now to Berkeley. Mullings to Stroud. Stroud's through ball intercepted. Gutierrez going all the way back to feet of Marcucci. Juan Gutierrez coming off the bench here to close things out at center back. Just an 18-year-old of the Red Bull Bragantino Academy. Red Bull Global Club down in Brazil. Connecting here with this New York Red Bull representative. Solis now immediately surrounded by red jerseys, one back by New York. But the foul will go against Ovante Mullings. Canadian winger, one of the elite attackers in college soccer, was Ovante Mullings. In his time down in Florida with Florida Gulf Coast University, 28 goals, 7 assists, two-time all-conference attacker. But he was taken in the Super Draft by New York after trading with Seattle for the pick to be converted to a fullback. Played right back last year in 31 starts. His 3 assists led the team from that spot. And now being asked to push back into an attacking role this season because of the needs of this team. He has shown his versatility. Dangerous moments here. Juninho up to Lynn. Lynn one-on-one against Nosita. Nosita does enough to get in the way of the Fighting Irish attacker. Another good sign for Orlando. Anytime they play through that New York pressure, it's going to lead to a dangerous opportunity going back the other way. Both these teams at the MLS level already through to the next round of Leagues Cup play. Orlando City will get the treat, I think, is what everyone would say, to play in their next match against Inter Miami. And of course, that means Lionel Messi. It's going to be a special opportunity. You have to think a lot of these young players will be out there for that game. It's been the story in just North America, but the world of soccer so far. Of course, Miami using their MLS Next Pro team to help build that squad out. David Ruiz and Benjamin Kremoski, massive performers, as well as Drake Callender, all former MLS Next Pro players for Miami. Here's Valencia breaking into the box. He's fouled. We've got a penalty kick coming here. And I asked, what would Alex Freeman bring to the game? The young fullback playing out on the wing, off the bench, not able to get up to speed here. And he gets caught with a foot left in against Omar Valencia. And he gives up the penalty kick. One of the best young fullback prospects in the country. But a moment to forget there. And Ibrahim Kasule now stepping up to the spot. He's got 9 goals in the last 10 games for New York. He has been perfect from the spot as well over the course of this season. Can Kasule keep his perfect mark? Can he keep his goal streak running? And Kasule slides it down the middle. With his final touch of the night, Ibrahim Kasule makes it 10 goals in 11 appearances in a row. He is making a run at the Golden Boot in MLS Next Pro, the Ugandan attacker. Electric first season under his fellow countryman Ibrahim Sakaya. And what a parting gift for him to take a goal with him and to give his team a lead. Amos Shapiro Thompson stepping in his place.
2 goals. Scored by number 31, Ibrahim Kasule.
Looked like a second goal was coming in a matter of moments throughout the first half. It's looked less sure here in this second half. But Kasule, the breakthrough there, the penalty kick earned by Valencia. So for the second time this year, New York takes a 2-1 lead against Orlando. Can they hold it this time? Tackled away by Freeman. Freeman, 4 goals, 2 assists on the year. Can he make up for things himself? Tablante, 1v1. That ball knocked out for a corner kick. Amos Shapiro Thompson made his return from injury in the last match against FC Cincinnati. A big moment for the Boston College Eagle. It was his first appearance since May 29th. As a big substitution made here by Orlando. Shaq Mohammed comes on for Franco Perez. So that will mean most likely Tablante or Freeman will slide back to the fullback spot. As Juninho's dragged down there, he has had a frustrated evening. And in the end, it will be a yellow card to Mohamed Sofo.
The referee has issued a yellow card to New York Red Bulls.
So Shaq Mohammed
number 37,
ended up playing some USL 2 soccer in the New York City area for Manhattan SC. Mohammed, the Right to Dream Academy grad, spent his time after coming out of Ghana in the New England area, playing for Millbrook High School and Blackrock FC, which has produced some of the best young players over the last few years. Peter Stroud's Duke teammate, the number 2 pick in this year's Super Draft. Shaq Mohammed scored his first career pro goal against New York Red Bulls 2 in the previous matchup. This ball punched away by Marcucci. He takes some contact and the foul called in the goalkeeper's favor. You see Marcucci a little bit worse for wear afterwards, back there behind the goal. AJ Marcucci, the opposite of Shaq Mohammed. Not a high draft pick, not highly touted out of a conference like the ACC. He was the first D3 player drafted in the MLS Super Draft since 2016, when New York Red Bulls took him in 2022 out of Central Connecticut College. For Marcucci, he has been a massive addition for the New York Red Bulls from top down in their club as Nosita heads that one back. Ahmed trying to get on that one early. New York now on the counterattack. And that shot goes just wide. This portion of the match is brought to you by the Hospital for Special Surgery, the official hospital of the New York Red Bulls. Orlando, he starts things quickly to the feet of Medina. Salim now. Clock ticking down against Orlando here. Trying to steal a result on the road. Turnover from Freeman. Stroud. Can't find a teammate. Juninho wins it back. Mohammed now off the bench. Early ball from Mohammed to Lynn, the leading goal scorer for Orlando. Trying to lay it off for Tablante. And that's what Stroud is out there to do. He reads the danger. He's still got that third lung going deep into the 82nd minute. He's able to make the recovery run, earn the foul, and let his team breathe a little bit easier here in their defensive half. Red Bulls preparing to bring on Bento Estrella with their final substitution. Estrella, Portuguese youth international. One of the youngest players ever signed to an MLS contract when he signed his homegrown. So Lace now overtaken by Mullings. Oh, that was Sabufu. Now Mullings on the run. Mullings gets to his right foot, puts it across. What a slide tackle there from Salim. Salim turning his body, sticking that right foot out, and able to knock it away. This is why Mullings is an exciting prospect for New York. Anytime he gets in the open field, he's a threat. Great quality to his service. He's put a couple of dangerous crosses in so far. What a tackle from Salim to clear it away. Corner kick now served in. First header won by Orlando, and the second one will flow through and taken down by Otero. Look at the throw here from Javier Otero over the midfield line to the feet of Juninho. But New York wins it back. So it looks like now we will get the change. Bento Estrella, a final substitute available to Ibrahim Sakaya.
Bento Estrella.
Estrella coming on for Ovante Mullings. Bento Estrella more of a defensive presence. Played really well in the last game against FC Cincinnati, down a man in that defensive midfield spot alongside Amos Shapiro-Thompson. So the two of them got the start. Because of the red card, were forced into more defensive duties. It was Dylan Sullivan, the number 6, who moved back to center back. Estrella and Thompson. Shapiro-Thompson held down the 4 in midfield. Those two are going to try and see out the victory here for New York. 2-1. Win here would move New York into sole possession of 4th place. MLS Next Pro's Eastern Conference. As that cross again acrobatically cleared, this time by Kibanguchi. New York can hang on here. They sit 1 point behind Columbus in 3rd place, 3 points behind New England in 2nd place. Crown Legacy continues to storm away from everyone, sitting on 47 points in 1st place in the Eastern Conference. Somewhat similar in the West, Colorado Rapids too, even with their recent loss, sitting on 45 points, 5 points ahead of Austin too, but with a game in hand still for Colorado. Tacoma in 3rd place, 9 points behind as that cross played in. So stretch at the 2 1st place spots for buys. Not finished yet, but feels most likely it'll be those 2 teams. But it is a massive scramble from 2nd all the way down to 7th. The New York Red Bulls can hold on to a win here. It would move them 6 points away from 6th. It would put some distance between them and Philly and the entire pact below, with Orlando sitting between. It would be a very comfortable spot for New York Red Bulls to sit in. So Fabian Loyola will come on in place of Jack Lynn. Surprisingly frustrating night for Jack Lynn. He had to drop deeper in the first half to help defensively and help in the build-out. Never really got a look in the box. And now Loyola coming on, one of the most exciting young attackers in the U.S. USU-19 International, last year's MLS Next All-Star MVP. Out on the field trying to rescue a goal for his team. For New York, they head to the Revs in their next game. So if they're able to hang on here, they could get even closer in the Eastern Conference, controlling their own destiny. They then play at home against TFC here at MSU Soccer Park. So if you're in the area, buy some tickets and come on out. And then New York travels to Columbus. So the 2 teams directly in front of New York. They hang on to the victory here. They will face off against over the next 13 days, but they will both be on the road. So the challenge firmly stated to this New York Red Bull team. It all starts here against Orlando. Orlando City, they've got that Florida derby against Miami coming up on Saturday. Then they host the Revolution and then travel back up here to the tri-state area to face off against NYCFC out at Belson Stadium on the 13th before going home and having a murderer's row of a schedule to close things out. At home to Columbus, at home to Crown Legacy, at the Revs. 3 games in a row against the top 3 teams in the league. Orlando City's had good success against the best teams so far. It was a much better performance in this second half. Might be for nothing here for Orlando. Offside flag going up against Sabufu there. 33rd minute goal for Wiki Carmona. A gorgeous shot from distance. But definitely with the run of play in favor of New York. 47th minute equalizer for Moises Tablante. A gorgeously worked goal down the left wing. Tablante beating Marcucci to a long ball in the open field, putting it into the open net. And the go-ahead goal, the penalty earned by Omar Valencia due to the foul by Alex Freeman.
Ladies and gentlemen,
And the finish
the
from
referee has
Ibrahim
issued a yellow
Kasule.
card to Orlando City Bees number 14, Abdul Shakur Mohammed.
Picks up the yellow card off the bench. The Duke Blue Devil. The best players in the nation in college soccer last year. Duke's become a soccer hotbed over the last 10 or so years. Peter Stroud coming out of there, New York Red Bull former homegrown Sean Davis coming out of Duke as well. Fantastic goals.
Ladies and gentlemen,
6
the
yellow
fourth
cards
official
between
on the
the
sideline
two
has indicated it will be
teams.
a minimum of 3 minutes.
It's
of
been
added time in the
physical.
second half.
It's been aggressive throughout this game. As we get notification, will be a minimum of 3 minutes of stoppage time. The two teams that have left it all on the board. A total of 40 fouls between these two teams. A game that's just a constant level of duels. Orlando normally averaging 84% passing. They had 80.5 at home against New York. Right now sitting at 74%. That shows you how New York's game plan has worked. Their ability to press. Orlando's tried to play through it time and again, but New York's been dangerous, forcing turnovers. And now they are a little over 2 minutes away from what would be back-to-back victories. They win at FC Cincinnati last week. The two tough losses against NYCFC and Philly. New York righting themselves under Ibrahim Sakaglia. A strong team here today. A couple of first-teamers brought in. Stroud and Carmona's first appearances since April with this Red Bull 2 squad. Doncor and Nosita brought in as well. But it may end up being the consistent one. The 19-year-old Kasule sitting on the winner right now. Sofo. He takes his shot wide of that near post. Loyola now off the bench, dropping deep. Loyola 6 goals in his first year of pro soccer last year. So he knows how to find the back of the net. You see his frustration with the pass back from Tablante. Martin Perelman's never going to be happy with a loss, but I think there's a lot of positives to take out of this performance for Orlando. Perelman talked to me before the match about how much he admired how New York was committed to the way they played. He said if every team in this league had a style that they were able to stick to through good and bad, the league would be better off. And he said, my players are going to be better players for playing against this New York team. He admires what they're able to do, and we saw it on display up close here today. They shifted their pressure in the second half when Orlando moved some pieces around the chessboard. Still able to create a number of dangerous turnovers. Even Gucci put there after laying that pass off. And then lazy defending there from Santiago Mascara. That's going to pick him up a yellow card. So deep into stoppage time. The work continues for Austin Saney. This could be the final opportunity of the game. Orlando throws all the bodies forward. It'll be a Seminole Almaguer. Flicked on at the top of the 18. Marcucci punches it away in traffic, and that'll be the final touch here. So Orlando took 3 points at home against New York earlier in the season. New York Red Bulls, too, are able to hit back here at MSU Soccer Park on the campus of Montclair State University. A 2-run victory behind 2 of their most dangerous attackers. The press worked. New York connected from front to back, creating chances, defending as a unit. One mistake saw Orlando pull level right out of halftime. The New York Red Bulls, too, are able to storm back and pick up the victory. And who else would you expect to lead the way? It's a 2-1 win for New York Red Bulls, too. And our Adidas man of the match is, of course, Ibrahim Kassoule. His 10th goal in 11 matches here in the middle of the MLS Next Pro season. He's been perfect from the penalty spot as well. His second in 2 weeks in the run of play. Kassoule now 10 goals and 4 assists on the year, all of them in the last 11 matches for the Ugandan international. And you see what it means to the fans and to this team. As Kassoule, he gets a little bit more support here today, but he's still the man to lead the way for his team. New York Red Bulls, too. They move to sole possession of 4th place with this victory over Orlando City B, who they dropped down to 5th. They've got a race on their hands, and they've got the opponents in their sight as they'll face off against 2nd place New England Revolution coming up next week, and they'll do so on a 2-game winning streak. Well, for myself, David Goss, and everyone here with our production, thank you to all of you out there for watching. Thanks for joining us here. A little Monday night MLS Next Pro action. The league resumes on Thursday with a full slate of weekend games coming up as New York Red Bulls 2 take the 2-1 lead here on MLSNextPro.com.
This copyrighted broadcast of MLS Next Pro may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcasted without the express written consent of Major League Soccer.